Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dr. Fantastic Interviews. In today's episode, I'm not going to interview anyone. I'm going to read quotes of wisdom from very smart people, and if they were alive today, I would love nothing more than to interview them. So William Blake once said, "If the fool would persist in his folly, he would become wise." Euripides said, "The good and the wise lead quiet lives." T.S. Eliot once said, "It's not wise to violate rules until you know how to observe them." Publius Syrus said long time ago, "From the errors of others, a wise man corrects his own." Jonathan Swift once said, "A wise man should have money in his head, but not in his heart." I like that one. I don't know how to pronounce this, but Ashkeles, I don't know, a Greek philosopher, I think. "It's a profitable thing, if one is wise, to seem foolish." Sounds like he's talking about me. Hunter S. Thompson said, "A word to the wise is infuriating." I can understand that. Voltaire, he said, "Is there anyone so wise as to learn by the experience of others?" That's a good one. Samuel Johnson, "Love is the wisdom of the fool and the folly of the wise." I think I'm repeating myself. Did I say that already? Michel de Montaigu, or Montaigne, I believe it is, Frenchman. "A wise man never loses anything if he has himself." Very nice. Henry David Thoreau. We all love his writings. "I have always been regretting that I was not as wise as the day I was born." Think about that one. William Butler Yeats once said, "If suffering brings wisdom, I would wish to be less wise." Okay. Winston Churchill. Yeah, very famous guy. "It is always wise to look ahead, but difficult to look further than you can see." Now, I should say these things a little slower because they're very deep, and these are some smart people, and I wish they were alive to interview them. But I am going to be interviewing some very smart people coming up in about a week at the 17th Annual Conscious Life Expo. Tune in live for these interviews on Uplifting Interviews with Total Strangers on YouTube and, of course, this channel. So this is interesting. Ambrosi Bierce once said, "Cabbage. It's a familiar kitchen garden vegetable, about as large and wise as a man's head." Oscar Wilde. "The well-bred contradict other people. The wise contradict themselves." Again, another Greek guy, Aeschylus. Aeschylus. Aeschylus? I don't know. That's a tough name. "It is best for the wise man not to seem wise." Thomas Gray said, "Where ignorance is bliss, 'tis folly to be wise." Arthur Helps once said, "Wise sayings often fall on barren ground, but a kind word is never thrown away." Very nice. Plato. "Love is the joy of the good, the wonder of the wise, the amazement of the gods." William James said, "The art of being wise is the art of knowing what to overlook." Lucius Annaeus Seneca once said, "No man was ever wise by chance." Francis Bacon. "It is impossible to love and to be wise." I got to think about that one for a while. It is impossible to love and to be wise. So you got to read into that one. Buddha. He said, "The wise ones fashion speech with their thought, sifting it as grain if is sifted through a sieve." I'll say that again. "The wise ones fashion speech with their thought, sifting it as grain is sifted through a sieve." Buddha. Okay? Buddha, you go, guys. Jean de La Fontaine. Nothing is as dangerous as an ignorant friend. A wise enemy is to be preferred. I tell you, some people have some. By the way, if you're still listening, I came up with a nice saying. And these things I'm reading have great backgrounds, as mine does. And mine is, what you want to be, you can be. Be fantastic. And if you've been following this show, you know that I'm Dr. Fantastic, and I'm having some fun with this. Okay, so Margaret Mead, first woman on the list here. I was wise enough to never grow up while fooling most people into believing I had. That's interesting. That's like me. Harper Lee said, many receive advice. Only the wise profit from it. There's another saying that free advice people do not accept. They don't appreciate it. They don't use it. But charge them a lot of money for the advice, and then they're going to really take it to heart. I guess it's all about money. Matsuo Basho once said, do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. Seek what they sought. Interesting. Zumangezi said, for the wise man looks into space and he knows there is no limited dimensions. I like that. William Barter Yeats said, think like a wise man, but communicate in the language of the people. Never, that's very good, because you should never speak above someone's pay grade. This is an unknown one. This is probably commercial. He was a wise man who invented beer. I should have put Anheuser-Busch on that one. Balthazar Gracian once said, a wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends. Interesting. Niccolo Machiavelli said, a wise man does at once what the fool does finally. David Hume said, a wise man proportions his belief to the evidence. That's very wise. William Blake again said, a fool sees not the same tree that a wise man sees. Interesting. William Shakespeare, he said, let me embrace thee, sour adversity, for the wise men say it is the wisest course. I love William Shakespeare. Who is this? Francis Bacon? A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds. A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds. Very nice. Harry Dove. Rules are for the obedience of fools and the guidance of wise men. Wow, very astute. Claude Levi-Strauss. The wise man doesn't give the right answers. He poses the right questions. Very nice. He who is wise love most, say least. Alfred Lord Tennyson said that. H.G. Wells once said, affliction comes to us not to make us sad, but sober, not to make us sorry, but wise. I hope you guys are listening and learning by these things. It's great. Sidonie Gabrielle Colette, the second woman. Be happy. It's one way of being wise. I love that song. Don't worry, be happy. But again, you've got to make yourself happy. No one's going to make you happy. You have to make yourself happy, and you can't make anyone else happy till you make yourself happy. And smiling is one of the first things. And of course, you got to be fantastic. William Shakespeare, he said, it is a wise father that knows his own child. Well, that's kind of rare today. Jeff Cooper said, a smart man only believes half of what he hears. A wise man knows which half. Okay, that's pretty good. A smart man only believes half of what he hears. A wise man knows which half. That is very nice. Jeff, who are you? Wise men don't need advice. Fools won't take it. Benjamin Franklin said that. Oh, Benjamin. He also said, early to bed and early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Well, then I must be doing something right, because I go early to bed and early to rise. And, yeah, that's good. I like it. Benjamin, you're my man. Maya Angelou. A wise woman wishes to be no man's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim. Let me say that again. A wise woman wishes to be no one's enemy. A wise woman refuses to be anyone's victim. I don't get that one. Grantland Rice said, a wise man takes his own decisions. An ignorant man follows the public opinion. Ain't that the truth? Aristotle, here we go, Aristotle. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. There you go, Aristotle. Bruce Lee, he said, a wise man can learn more from a foolish question than a fool can learn from a wise answer. Bruce, I didn't know you're more than just an actor. Here you go, Bruce. Shalom Aleichem said, life is a dream for the wise, a game for the fool, a comedy for the rich, and a tragedy for the poor. Brilliant. George Bernard Shaw. Who doesn't love George Bernard Shaw? He said, we are wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. A wise man makes his own decisions. An ignorant man follows the public opinion. I think we said that earlier. Grantland Rice said that. Okay, let's see here. I think we're getting to the end of this. So basically, I hope you got a couple little pieces of wise advice. I kind of like to think of myself as a wise man. Dr. Fantastic, who is the professor of positivity. And I want you all to think positive, never think negative, get rid of negative people in your life. Enjoy life. It's short, very, very short. Be kind to others, but most importantly, be fantastic. Thank you for listening. Please follow, share. Next week, I'll be at the 17th Annual Conscious Life Expo, where I'm going to meet the smartest people on the planet. I'm looking forward to that and having some great interviews. Hope you enjoyed my past interviews. Also, go to Uplifting Interviews with Total Strangers. Please join that channel. I have a goal of getting 1 million people fantastic. That's where I show the numbers. And be fantastic. It's easy. It'll make you live longer, be happier. You'll never be forgotten in life. You'll do better in business. It creates engagement, and you make the world a better place. Be fantastic, everybody. Thanks for listening.